Why do lottery winners return to their baseline happiness levels within 2 years? Why do people earning 6 figures report the same life satisfaction as those making half that amount? The answer reveals a fundamental flaw in how we think about money and happiness. Your brain is literally wired to sabotage your financial satisfaction, and until you understand this psychological trap, every dollar you earn will feel like it's disappearing into a void of endless wanting. You land that promotion you've been chasing for months, and for exactly 3 weeks, you feel like you finally made it. The salary bump hits your account, you upgrade your morning coffee order, maybe you browse nicer apartments online. Then something strange happens that reveals a fundamental flaw in how your brain processes financial success. That euphoria starts to fade, and within a month, you're back to feeling exactly as financially stressed as before, despite having more money than ever. Your brain contains an ancient system designed to keep you perpetually unsatisfied with your financial progress, no matter how much you earn or accumulate. This system, called the hedonic treadmill, literally rewires your neural pathways to treat yesterday's luxury as today's necessity, creating an endless cycle of adaptation. Your brain forms new neural connections that normalize whatever financial level you achieve, essentially resetting your satisfaction baseline back to zero. The $100 dinner that once felt extravagant becomes routine. The car payment that initially excited you transforms into just another monthly obligation. The arrival fallacy convinces you that reaching the next income milestone will finally deliver lasting happiness, but neuroscience reveals why this promise is biologically impossible. Research shows that people earning $75,000 report virtually identical life satisfaction to those making $150,000, yet both groups believe earning more would solve their happiness problem. The disconnect isn't about the money itself, but about how your brain processes financial gains. Your brain's reward system releases dopamine in anticipation of financial gains, not during the actual experience of having more money, which explains why the chase feels better than the catch. The moment you receive that raise or bonus, dopamine levels actually drop, leaving you feeling flat despite achieving your goal. This neurochemical reality means you're literally addicted to the pursuit rather than the possession of wealth. Lifestyle inflation operates like a silent thief, automatically expanding your expenses to match your income increases, leaving you feeling financially stagnant despite objective progress. You unconsciously upgrade your housing, transportation, entertainment, and daily purchases to consume whatever additional income you generate. The psychological result is identical: financial pressure at every income level. Social comparison theory demonstrates how your happiness depends more on your relative financial position than your absolute wealth, turning every salary increase into a temporary high followed by renewed inadequacy. Your brain constantly measures your financial status against others in your social circle, workplace, and community. When you earn more, you naturally begin comparing yourself to people at higher income levels, recreating the same relative disadvantage you experienced before. Understanding these psychological mechanisms reveals why earning more money often leaves you feeling just as empty as before. Your brain is literally designed to adapt to financial improvements and return to baseline satisfaction levels. This knowledge becomes the foundation for breaking free from the endless cycle of financial pursuit without fulfillment. But first, you need to understand how this trap manifests in your daily financial decisions. Sarah earned $45,000 5 years ago and dreamed of the day she'd make 6 figures. Now she earns $120,000 and feels exactly as financially stressed as she did before, revealing a deeper truth about how money mindset shapes reality. The number in her bank account changed, but the internal narrative remained identical. She still checks her account balance with the same anxiety, still feels behind compared to others, still believes she needs more to feel secure. The way you think about or relate to money creates invisible barriers that prevent financial resources from translating into genuine well-being and satisfaction. Your money mindset operates like a filter that determines whether each dollar brings peace or stress, regardless of the actual amount involved. This psychological framework shapes every financial decision you make, from daily purchases to major investments. Social media amplifies financial comparison by showcasing curated highlight reels of others' financial success, distorting your perception of what constitutes enough and creating artificial scarcity in your mind. You scroll through feeds filled with luxury vacations, expensive purchases, and lifestyle upgrades that make your own financial reality feel inadequate. These carefully edited snapshots trigger comparison mechanisms that existed long before Instagram, but now operate at unprecedented speed and scale. Your financial identity becomes trapped in external validation cycles where self-worth fluctuates based on income levels, net worth milestones, and material possessions rather than intrinsic value systems. You celebrate promotions not for the work recognition, but for the salary increase. You measure personal progress through financial metrics instead of growth, relationships, or contribution. This creates a psychological dependency where your mood and self-esteem rise and fall with market performance and paycheck amounts. The constant pursuit of the next financial level creates a psychological state where you're always living in the future, unable to experience satisfaction with your current financial reality. Research reveals that people who tie their identity to financial achievement report higher levels of anxiety, depression, and relationship problems even when they achieve their monetary goals. The goalpost moves automatically with each success, maintaining perpetual dissatisfaction. The comparison trap extends beyond income to lifestyle markers like house size, car models, and vacation destinations, creating an endless hierarchy where someone always has more. Your brain interprets financial setbacks as threats to survival, triggering stress responses that cloud judgment and perpetuate scarcity-based decision-making even when resources are adequate. A temporary budget constraint activates the same neural pathways as genuine danger. Recognizing how social media distorts your relationship with money and how external validation cycles guarantee misery allows you to begin separating your self-worth from your net worth. Breaking free from this mental prison requires a fundamental shift from acquisition-based thinking to value-based financial decision-making, which opens the door to using money as a tool for genuine transformation. What if the secret to financial happiness isn't earning more money, but spending the money you have in ways that align with your core values and create lasting psychological benefits? The answer lies in understanding that your relationship with money transforms completely when you shift from chasing more to optimizing what you already possess. Intentional spending represents a complete paradigm shift from accumulation to allocation, focusing on how money flows through your life rather than how much you can stockpile. Most people operate on autopilot with their finances, making decisions based on convenience, impulse, or what others expect. This reactive approach explains why people earning double their previous salary often report identical stress levels and life satisfaction. Most people spend reactively, making financial decisions based on impulse, social pressure, or habit, which explains why increased income rarely translates to increased life satisfaction. Your spending patterns reflect unconscious programming rather than conscious choice. Buy things because they're on sale, because friends recommend them, or because advertising triggers emotional responses. This disconnect between spending and values creates a cycle where money flows out without creating meaningful returns in happiness or fulfillment. Research identifies specific spending categories that consistently increase happiness, experiences over possessions, time-saving services, and contributions to others' well-being. The value alignment framework requires you to identify your core principles and evaluate every financial decision against these standards rather than external benchmarks or social expectation. This means pausing before each purchase to ask whether it serves your authentic values or merely satisfies momentary impulses. Buying experiences creates lasting memories and personal growth opportunities, while material purchases provide temporary satisfaction that quickly fades due to hedonic adaptation. When you invest in travel, learning, or shared activities, you create psychological assets that appreciate over time. The concert you attended 5 years ago still brings joy when you remember it. The expensive gadget you bought the same year likely sits forgotten in a drawer. Purchasing time through services like house cleaning, meal delivery, or commute alternatives reduces stress and creates space for activities that genuinely enhance well-being. Time represents your most finite resource, yet most people trade hours for dollars without considering the reverse transaction. Buying back time allows you to invest in relationships, personal growth, and activities that align with your core values. Contributing to others through charitable giving or supporting loved ones activates reward centers in your brain more powerfully than spending on yourself, creating sustainable satisfaction. This neurological reality explains why generous people consistently report higher life satisfaction regardless of income level. This framework transforms your relationship with money from a source of endless anxiety into a tool for building genuine well-being and personal transformation. The path forward involves creating a sustainable financial strategy that builds lasting fulfillment rather than temporary satisfaction, allowing you to break free from the cycle of wanting more financial validation. The real connection between money and happiness isn't about the amount in your bank account. It's about the intentionality behind every dollar you spend and the alignment between your financial choices and your deepest values. Your brain will always adapt to higher income levels, but it responds differently to purposeful spending decisions that serve your authentic priorities. Start by identifying one area where you can shift from accumulation to intentional allocation. Buy an experience instead of an object. Invest in time-saving services that create space for what truly matters. Your transformation begins the moment you stop chasing the next financial milestone and start using your current resources to build the life you actually want to live.